anh đi vì dân đêm bên hồ đến lần đầu nếu mà thích cô bát sắc lại gần vào gối lên chồng cái đèn hào hạt xăm chủ vì đã che em phong rất hâm mộ chồng ăn căng bọn này không lăn tăn cầm chồng ngon ăn đừng vào ăn bước vào áo trước nào bạn bước vào cho mẹ lốc ao bước vào bạn bước vào
Okay, that's enough. Well, echoes quite a bit. This is my first time coming here to make a video. Hello everybody. This is gonna be one of the most unusual video I will ever make. First of all, introduction to location. I'm next to the university here in Da Nang. And this is a brand new location because my usual cafe, which is nearby, is too crowded. It's a Saturday. I forgot, Saturday people have time. I don't have any timing difference between Monday or Sunday. Every day is the same for me since 25 years. So I forgot today is a Saturday. So I went to the wrong place, now I found a good place. I hope the audio is really good, and with the echo I think that means also I don't need to stress myself too much when it comes to the message. Alright, first of all, I want you to understand today I'm going to make the ultimate Bitcoin Cash video. I will explain to anybody in the world, not just to people who invest in NEO, but to anybody in the world who found this video. And I want you to understand I'm the most competent resource about Bitcoin Cash right now who is still actively talking about Bitcoin Cash. And let me prove to you first of all why I'm the most competent man to do that. Start with my very first publicly available video about Bitcoin. And here we have it. This one you can find on the internet. Okay, the YouTube channel is firstmeal.com. I had 11,000 subscribers and I gave it up because I want to start my life new. And here you can see 8th of December 2017. So almost 9 years ago, I made a video in my own car.
How is everything going? Bitcoin. Everywhere I look at, everywhere I turn to.
Okay, you can watch this video yourself. And that's why I started the phrase of Hello Future Millionaire almost 10 years ago. Okay, so I have an extremely long track record of talking about Bitcoin, but particularly Bitcoin Cash. And today I will use this video to explain to everybody why I'm still almost all in Bitcoin Cash. And here's the news I have to tell my subscribers in NEO section. And fortunately or unfortunately, the component of NEO in my network is shrinking further and further. Not because NEO is doing too badly. NEO is not doing great, but it's not doing so badly I lose money. I haven't lost money yet on my NEO position. My all-in cost is about $3.88. And I'm still in profit, but it doesn't look nearly as good as when it was trading at $7, $8, of course. And we want to get NEO to $10 per share. However, because what happened with Bitcoin Cash in the last 24 hours, let me just show you what happened there. What happened here in the last 24 hours, we're up basically 30%. And against Bitcoin, this is what is the price against Bitcoin is up 24.48%, which means in the last 24 hours, you would have made 25% more money if you put your money into Bitcoin Cash instead of Bitcoin. And today I'm going to explain in the greatest possible detail why this is. And one reason why I need to explain all this is because AI doesn't help. I show you why AI doesn't help. Here's the AI outcome. So yesterday, or today, this morning at 1:30, basically early in the morning, I ask AI, why is BCH pumping higher by 30% today? And it replies, there's no BCH specific news, no upgrade, no partnership, no fork. The rally is driven by money expansion, which is normal. Bitcoin-led rally, high beta effect, that's also normal. Short squeeze, this thing I'm going to go into it in a while. ETF boost sentiment, that is nonsense because ETF on Bitcoin Cash is tiny. So basically, it does not know. Okay, so even you have AI, you ask any AI, they're all the same, they just regurgitate the news. AI cannot help you. My biological brain can help you. I'm the only person right now in the world that can help you to understand why this is and why it has happened, why it is not a surprise to me. Here, let me prove to you why this was not a surprise to me. Why? Because I put my own money to work when it was trading as $200 per coin. And how do I prove that to you? Very simple. Here, this is the reason I have my YouTube channel. Look here. When the price was at around $200 per coin, about, when was it? 6th of June. 6th of June. So, 6th of June, this is one of the places I want to go there to make a video, but I can't do that today because it's a different city. So 6th of June, I already told everybody I'm buying. Okay? Let me just show you 6th of June, how far away it was. 6th of June. It's very important. 6th of June. Look, 6th of June. $200. I started buying Bitcoin Cash for below $200 per coin. I have been continuously buying, and I no longer buy because I finished buying. I had a long time to buy, and I did not hide this information to anybody. Instead, as soon as I bought my first new position in Bitcoin Cash, I made a video about it. And guess where the money comes from? And this is my confession now to everybody. I did sell some NEO shares to fund my purchase in Bitcoin Cash simply because the investor sentiment in NEO is not nearly as good as expected to be, and the management is not receptive towards my suggestion. This is a big problem, and I cannot change how other people perceive the market. I cannot change how other people behave in the market. The only thing I can do is change my own behavior. In this case, I changed my mind of holding NEO forever. Instead, the opportunity in Bitcoin Cash was just too great. I understand this investment better than any other investment in the world. So I bought I sold NEO shares and I bought Bitcoin Cash, the actual coin, not ETF, the actual coin, and took delivery of those coins, all below $200 per coin. And today I will explain to you what is the logic behind it, why the 30% increase in one day is not surprising to me, and why we're going to continue to see an uptrend towards $1,000 first, then upwards towards $10,000. And I want you to understand this is not going to be an easy video, so I'm going to use the help of this stand and make the video this way. Hopefully it works. Hopefully nothing gets touched. Okay. Where do I start? Let's start with coffee. Today I ordered a cappuccino because I want to test the new machine here. And I have a croissant to give me energy. I'm not going to eat it right now. Instead, I'm going to just take a cold tea. Then I'm ready to start. All right. Actually, I think the location is amazing because we are next to the FPT University. It's one of the private university in Da Nang. Da Nang is an amazing city. I'm going to live here for the next long time, probably 10 years plus. So welcome to my new home, and I will explain to everybody in the world why Bitcoin Cash is up 30% and why this is just the start. And for you to understand why I make this video is because I have met quite a lot of young people along this journey in the last 2 years, which is entirely funded by Bitcoin Cash. By the way, this drink is paid for with Bitcoin Cash. Just remember, everything you watch on my YouTube channel is financed by Bitcoin Cash. And here's the situation. I met a lot of people who asked me what I do. And I told them I travel now around the world, and I plan to travel around the world for the next 10 years plus. That is my base, but I will travel. And of course everybody asks me how I make my money, and I tell them the truth. By telling people the truth, very often I encounter three types of people. And let's see who you are. And I suspect anyone who's willing to sit with me for 1 hour plus on the internet to watch me talk about Bitcoin Cash is going to be one of the three. The other two is not going to be you. So the three types of people I meet. One, the minority. The small minority is, okay, let's start with the majority. Majority, more than 60% of people I meet will say something along the line, oh, you are just one of those YouTubers who scam people with videos and get people to buy stuff, and then you earn money from advertising. That's about 60% of the people. And then I will gently tell them I have never earned a single cent from advertising for my YouTube channel. I do this as a hobby, as a giving back. And I always make my money from investing, not from advertising. And also I'm on tourist visa. I'm not legally allowed to earn money that way. I explain to everybody very clearly. Then we have about 30% of people for whom this is indifferent. Crypto, okay, it's a scam. I'm not participating in the scam. Those are actually indifferent people. That's about 30%. From their perspective, crypto is a scam, has been a scam since day one. It will always be a scam. People can make a lot of money, people lose a lot of money. It's none of their business. It's just a scam, and that's it. So the ignorant ones. So first, majority of people are judgmental. Smaller group of people are ignorant. But there is a minority of the people, about 10% of the people, every 1 out of 10 people I meet is curious. And in the curious group, there's a subgroup who is going to make it big. It's about 1 in 100 people I meet who will make it big. And I'm making this video for the 1 of 100 people I meet in my life. The 99% of people in my life I meet, for them this video is irrelevant. They are not going to watch it. I'm not going to make a fuss about it. I make this video purely for the 1%ers. And they are going to be the top 1%ers. Because only the 1%ers or potential 1%ers can resonate with the thinking of another 1%er. And I'm not trying to use this as a bragging rights. I know I'm a 1%er simply because I know the numbers, statistics. I know my net worth is in the top 0.001%. My fitness is in the top 1% for my age group. My height is I'm in the top 0.1% of my age group and my racial group. And I'm not the ugliest man in the world as well. And I'm not the dumbest man. So I know I'm a 1%er. So there is 1%er out there who resonate with me. Most of them are men, some of them are women, not many. But I'm making this video specifically for the top 1% men in the world who wants to make something out of themselves. And I'm presenting to you the ultimate solution in this next 40 minutes maybe. I'm going to present to you the ultimate solution to your problem. And I want to give a special shout out to a young man called George. George, he lives, I'll show you how George looks like. George lives in Laos, in Vientiane, and he's a great friend of mine, and I really enjoy my experience with him in Laos. Let me just show you how George looked like. I'm not just giving him a shout out, I'm putting him in the front and center of this video because I want you to understand why I do what I do. It's for young men like George I make this video. Sorry, it takes a while to scroll down. I have a lot of videos. The fact that I'm making so much videos in such a short period of time, 850 videos in less than 2 years, that by itself puts me in the top 1%. Because it's not about quality sometimes. Sometimes quantity is everything that matters. I hope I find George here somewhere. I'm gonna find George. So, I'm making this video for George and for every other man who is the top 1%. Truly the top 1%. Then, here's George with a friend. This is George. Yeah.
Hello everybody, Neil Alfred here. What you're seeing here is a one-off.
So George is real.
See me.
This is George.
An interview with my friend.
I'm making this video for George and all other men who are in the top 1%.
It's in the week. Yes. So what we
He speaks perfectly English. He's incredibly intelligent. He's a good-looking young man. He already has a girlfriend, so don't try anything. He has a wonderful family supporting him, and he's currently in a new job at a multinational corporation, and graduated high remarks in his university degree. So I'm making YouTube video. This video is specifically for this young man, George. Okay, for this guy here. I hope the camera can capture it. Now, I want you to understand, putting all your money into something is not an easy task. And that's what I have done. I have basically now almost all my money, let's just say virtually 100% now of my money is in Bitcoin Cash. So the last 1 week has been quite okay. It's been up 50% in a week. I think so, about 50% in a week. 7 days, 43%. That's the chart. That's the chart. So, Bitcoin Cash is up 43% in 7 days. Since almost all my money is in Bitcoin Cash, that means my entire net worth is up 43% in 1 week. It's probably one of the best weekly performance I've had in the last 10 years. But there's nothing to shout home about because we start at an extremely low bottom. $200 per coin, to put into perspective, you need to understand what it means. $200 per coin for Bitcoin Cash today is like when Bitcoin was trading at $200 per coin 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Bitcoin itself was below $1,000. Below $1,000. In 2016, Bitcoin itself is below $1,000. And below $1,000, there was a lot of suspicion and doubt and all kind of bad news about Bitcoin. I want you to understand that Bitcoin itself was always very controversial. It started as a hobby project among small fries, people who think independently. Who Satoshi Nakamoto is doesn't really matter now. Oh, side note, he's not dead. I don't believe he's dead. A lot of people think he's dead. I think he's the ultimate champion in hiding away. And the biggest owner of Bitcoin Cash is also Satoshi Nakamoto, in case you don't know. He got airdropped 1.1 million coins. So, 10 years ago, Bitcoin itself was trading below $1,000. I want you to see here, Bitcoin below $1,000 is this entire long period of time, almost 10 years period, Bitcoin didn't do anything. Below $1,000. And this is where we are today with Bitcoin Cash. However, I made many videos in the past telling you about 2026 in Bitcoin Cash is the same as 2016 in Bitcoin. The awareness is finally here. The doubt has been dispersed. All the initial pain is over. Bitcoin Cash has exactly the same supply structure as Bitcoin, but with added advantage. And the number one advantage in Bitcoin Cash is now it is quantum computing resistant. You must have heard about quantum computing before. You understand what it means, that potentially with enough computational power, you can crack any blockchain that's based on proof of work. That's the basic idea of the danger of quantum computing in Bitcoin chain security. I'm not one of those people. However, I just want to point out the simple fact that if you have your money in Bitcoin Cash instead of Bitcoin, you are secured. You don't have to worry about quantum computing hacking. It's a difficult word for me. All right. The simplest possible term I can explain to everybody about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash is Visa and MasterCard. Competing businesses, Visa versus Master. Both do the same thing. They enable international payments. They enable cashless payments as a middleman, old-fashioned way. Credit card is so 2010. It's not gonna come back. I don't use credit card ever in my life. But the best example I can give is Visa versus MasterCard, Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. Yeah. Or coffees, different coffee brands. Starbucks versus Highlands, for example, here in Vietnam. Or Highland versus Phúc Long. That's another example. What I'm trying to say is Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are essentially the same commodity. The minute difference is Bitcoin Cash is more advanced. Bitcoin Cash is actually Bitcoin 2.0. Bitcoin Cash is the one that follows the strict original white paper idea of Bitcoin, which is peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That's literally the name of the white paper establishing the functionality of Bitcoin. Peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That is Bitcoin. That's the very definition of Bitcoin, written by Satoshi Nakamoto himself. And if you look at the basic functionality of Bitcoin based on the white paper, the original design, Bitcoin Cash today fulfills that function far better than Bitcoin ever has been able to. I give you a good example. If I want to pay for this coffee, which this entire set here costs less than $3 US. If I want to pay for my coffee, I cannot pay by converting Bitcoin into Vietnamese dong and pay. I can't. The fee is too high. The transaction fee is too high. But I can do that with Bitcoin Cash. I can literally convert right now. I can take a phone, which I'm using to record myself. I can take a phone, convert $5 US worth of Bitcoin Cash into USDT Tether, and then sell the Tether on the open market in Vietnam for Vietnamese dong. And I receive that payment on my bank account here in Vietnam. This is literally how I convert Bitcoin Cash into Vietnamese dong. I don't have to talk to anybody. I pass all the KYCs because the rules here allows that to happen. I have a proper bank account because Vietnam is open-minded and allows even someone on tourist visa to have a bank account on the same day when you arrive. Unlike many other Asian countries, Thailand. Okay, so what I want to say is you are legally allowed to convert your crypto into local currency in a country like Vietnam, despite the fact that the government system is communistic, their economic system is completely capitalistic. This is the most capitalistic country I've ever been to. Freedom of capital. Freedom of capital. So, in a country like this, if I come here and I have a certain amount of money I want to bring over, I want to use it to buy something. Let's say I need to buy a motorbike. Is it easier with Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash? Honestly, it is much easier with Bitcoin Cash because I can decide whatever amount I want to be converted into Vietnamese dong without any restriction, and I can do it 24/7, any time of the day, any day of the year, any year of the century. And the reason is very simple, because the markets that support those transactions are operating 24/7, unlike stock market. This market is 24/7 non-stop, all the time. And this is also the reason why we are trading. Look, while we are talking, it is still trading. It is still trading. And the trading volume on Bitcoin Cash has reached almost $1 billion in the last 24 hours. And the market cap currently is less than 6 billion. So 1 in 6 coin has been turned over in the last 24 hours. Here, I want to show you. Don't need to listen to what I have to say. Just take a look. I hope the camera captures it. 1 billion turnover, $1 billion US turnover 24 hours internationally in Bitcoin Cash. This is a very liquid asset. That's what I'm trying to say. This is similar in liquidity to Bitcoin before it became mainstream. So the asset value in Bitcoin Cash compared to Bitcoin today, of course, is much smaller. Bitcoin Cash right now is trading at $300 US. Bitcoin itself is currently trading at 78,000 US dollar. So that makes Bitcoin significantly larger than Bitcoin Cash at this moment. And here comes the reason why Bitcoin Cash is doing so well. It is because, logically speaking, it is just normal to sell your Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin Cash and gain a huge leverage without borrowing money. The leverage is the one that makes this game work. And this is the reason why AI does not understand this yet, because AI does not have the data to prove that yet. Here's what's going on. A small percentage of Bitcoin owners, BTC owners, people who trade BTC, people who buy BTC, people who have been hodl BTC for a long time. A small percentage, not a lot of them, not yet, maybe 0.5% of them. 0.5% of them, or maybe only 0.3% of those people have decided to sell the Bitcoin and use the money and buy Bitcoin Cash, or they entered a pair trade where they short BTC, long BCH. This is entirely doable on many exchanges. It's very, very easy to do. One click of the mouse, you're trading the ratio. This is called the ratio game. So, what happens when $1.6 trillion, 0.5% of $1.6 trillion liquidate itself and put the money into an asset that is only 5.5 billion? Think about it. So 1% of 1.6 trillion is 160 billion. That's 1%. Is that right? No, 16 billion, I'm sorry, 16 billion. 1% is 16 billion. I'm bad at math. $16 billion is 1% of 1.6 trillion, 16 billion. 0.5% of that is $8 billion. So since the revenue is only turnover is 1 billion, that's less than that. So basically 0.1% of all investors in Bitcoin, 1 in 1,000 investor in Bitcoin has recognized the arbitrage opportunity here and started to convert their Bitcoin into Bitcoin Cash. That's it. That's all you have to know. And let me explain to you the cascading effect here. The cascading effect is this. The first 0.1% of Bitcoin holders are converting to Bitcoin Cash, and the result of this simple conversion yielded 30% return on their investment in 1 day. In 1 day. Very soon, all the AIs is going to figure this one out. At this moment, I don't think the AI has figured this one out yet, because AI needs other humans to write blog posts, make YouTube videos like mine, and summarize those contents, and then come to the conclusion, yeah, this may be true. AI is actually quite dumb at this moment. AGI is not here yet. I don't think so, but I might be wrong. Maybe AGI is hiding in plain sight. If that's the case, then it is the AGI that's doing this trade. Simple as that. So less than 1 out of 1,000 investors in Bitcoin are converting into Bitcoin Cash, and that resulted in a 30% increase in asset value in Bitcoin Cash. How is that possible, you ask yourself? How is it possible that so little money, just $1 billion in a day, is able to generate a 30% return? And the reason is very simple, because anyone who is currently still holding Bitcoin Cash, like myself, are long-term strong hand holders who have no leverage. People like me, we survived everything that's been thrown at us. I have never taken leverage, so I survived FTX, I survived all the hacking, I survived every conceivable risky situation in the last 10 years since I started talking about Bitcoin. I have never lost a single Satoshi of Bitcoin Cash to anybody, because I obey strict security measurements, so it makes me impossible to be hacked. Not that people didn't try, they tried. Many people tried to hack my accounts. They all failed because I obey rules that make it immune. And I also test myself regularly for security leaks and make sure that I'm not a soft target. I'm a very hard target, because I understand exactly why it is so easy to lose your coin. I have never lost a single coin in my life. So people like me understand the game. When we see 30% increase in price, we don't do anything. We say congratulations to everybody who bought in the last 90 days. I gave you guys ample opportunity to buy. I gave you guys a head up on the 6th of June to buy Bitcoin Cash below $200 per coin. Of course, most people wouldn't believe it, because people only believe fact after it has happened. They don't believe anything before it happens. And I also understand that the 30% in a day is just the start. This is just the start. The next target is 600. After 600 comes 1,000. After 1,000 comes 5,000. After 5,000 comes to 10,000. I happen to believe that BTC and BCH should be trading at the same valuation, simply because they fulfill the same function. And BCH actually does it better than BTC does. What we are missing is this investor sentiment. This is all we are missing. We are missing the fact that the people are still not understanding that BCH and BTC sharing the same origin makes them inseparable at the hip. As long as the machine running to mine BTC, the same machine will be run to mine BCH. Like now, the price has increased 30% in a day. Do you know what happens in the mining segment? The miners is going to switch over to BCH to mine BCH, because it's the more profitable coin now to be mined. And with the mining machine switch on the chain of BCH, it increased the difficulty level. The difficulty level spikes, and that in turn reduce the profitability but increase the incentive for more mining companies to switch from BTC to BCH, miners switch over to BCH, investors switch over to BCH, speculators switch over to BCH. And there's one argument people always say BTC has a network effect. And I never believed that for a moment because we don't use BTC for actual transactions. BTC is used only for speculation, for value retention from capital gains. And BCH can do it just as well as BTC, plus BCH can pay for coffee, which BTC cannot. So, in summary, what we are observing today is the start. And now, of course, I cannot ignore the overall market. So let's talk about the overall market. For that, I need a camera. 35 minutes in, 36 minutes in. Okay. For those who don't like my videos, you would have switched off a long time ago. So I don't really care. I'm only making video for someone like George, just remember, who wants to learn, who wants to be the top 1%er. Let's take a look at the crypto market. What's going on? XRP is up 25%. It might be up even more in the 7 days. Yes, XRP is up 62%. Why? Same thing. People switch out of BTC, go into altcoins. Doge, even Doge is up 40% in the last 7 days. Star performer is Zcash, also up 66% in 7 days. I'm just looking at all the big numbers. Stellar, up 37%. But branding-wise, BCH has the best branding. 45%, 7 days. Just remember, over 90 days we are still down. And I told every one of you to buy below 200. If you bought at 200 or below, you are looking at 50% gains. 50. Until recently, it was still around 200. Then we started to run. And from 200 to 300 took a grand total of 1, 2, let's say 3 days. Generously speaking, 3 days. This is only possible with a branding like Bitcoin Cash because people will understand. People will understand that Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash has the same functionality. One is much cheaper than the other. It's like anything you want in your life, you want to buy, and the same thing is sold at a different store for 200 times less or 300 times less money. You will be an idiot to buy the expensive one just because everyone else has been buying it. You just have to buy the thing that is working in your favor financially. In this case, it's Bitcoin Cash. Okay? So, shout out once again to George. George, what should you do? You already bought some Bitcoin Cash. And here's the fact. After you bought, the price went down. Here's something I want you to do that I know you will have difficulty doing. Go find somebody, show them this video, let them see that the number one guru in Bitcoin Cash is addressing you directly and giving you a very direct instruction, and you are just following this instruction. Show my video to 100 people. Tell them this is a great idea and ask them for cooperation, which means you ask for funding. Ask them to join you to speculate in the capital gains of Bitcoin Cash. Not borrowing money, but enter a cooperation partnership. You, George, have direct access to me. Tell them that they have indirect access to the best investor in Bitcoin Cash in the world, and all they have to do is entrust you with certain amount of dollars and you invest for them. Yes, you are not borrowing money from them, you invest for them. And here's the deal, George. Tell them this will work out, and if it works out, you are going to do a profit sharing with them. You take 20% of the profit for the knowledge you bring in, for the connection you bring in. Whoever sponsors the money gets to keep 80% of the profit. And now you just have to show this video to 100 people. And you have to do a sales pitch to 100 people. And one out of the 100 will say yes. And that one guy will help you to grow your own networks without you putting in a single cent. George, do you understand this assignment? Now it is up to you to decide if you do it or not, because that decides about who you are. Are you really a 1%er at such a young age? Or do you just talk about being a 1%er and don't take action? Okay, as we speak, we're approaching 300, 299, perfect time to stop the video. 299 is an amazing number, 299. I'm gonna upload the video here right now. And George, get ready for the firework of the century. We're gonna see $1,000 very, very soon. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Have a fantastic weekend.